What is up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys had yourselves a great weekend, especially if you are an Auburn Tiger. Auburn baseball beat Arkansas. Auburn, I forgot what it's called. I guess wheelchair games, if you want to call it that. I don't remember the proper term for it, but they beat Alabama to win the national title, and then the Auburn men's basketball team beat Tulsa in the NIT championship to be the NIT champions. And what a roller coaster of a game this was. The Auburn Tigers are your champs after beating Tulsa 92-86 in a game where Auburn led pretty much the entire way at just a 20-point lead. Kind of felt like what we saw in the game on Thursday against Illinois State. It felt like that was the same kind of thing. Everyone was having everything that they wanted. Tulsa, which was good at shooting threes, just couldn't buy a bucket throughout the first half. I mean, they got one going into going into halftime. They were like 1 of 9. Auburn was just having their way offensively, the athleticism and everything. But then, I mean, there's a reason Tulsa has won 30 games, and they came back. Like, they went on a run to take the lead at a certain point. But the thing about this Auburn basketball team that we have seen throughout the season, throughout the wins, throughout the losses, is that this team in particular just never really gave up. They always fought in every single game that we saw them in. Like, I mean, maybe you could probably say the blowout losses to Arizona, Michigan, Purdue. Maybe in those cases you could probably say, okay, they probably stop. I don't want to say stop competing or whatever, but they definitely, in most cases, the Georgia game, the Texas A&M game, the Tennessee game, the Arkansas game, the Florida game, so on and so forth. Throughout the entire run of the NIT, this Auburn basketball team for this year's edition under Stephen Pearl as the first-year head coach, they fought every single game. Yeah, they lost some, they won some, but I will give credit where credit is due to this particular team, that they continue to fight game in and game out throughout the entire season. And because of that, they were able to be the NIT champions. I mean, it was just a roller coaster of a game for sure. And we just look, I mean, stats wise, I mean, give credit to Tulsa. This David Green character, I thought there was another one, but like they there's a reason that they were 30-7 in this, or 30-6 heading into this game. They just really solid basketball team, really good basketball team. Auburn, pretty much you got what you needed. Jovic gave you 12 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Yeah, he fouled out. Keyshawn Hall fouled out, 11 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. Elijah Freeman gave you 6 points, but 14 rebounds. Kevin Overton, MVP, really the MVP of the entire run throughout the NIT, with a lot of his games where he carried pretty much Auburn throughout the NIT. I think the only game where he didn't have an outwardly performance was maybe the Seattle game. Either it was Seattle or Nevada. It was one of those two, and he got the shot. He made the 3-point shot that got Auburn into the position to go into overtime. Auburn was able to get a 5-second violation on Tulsa, which gave Auburn the ball, and that's all they needed. Gave them enough time. Overton made the 3, and Auburn took it from there going into overtime. And just, man, what a good positive way to cap off this season. Yeah, it was very disappointing that Auburn did not get into the NCAA tournament. But this is you can definitely say from I would definitely say from Stephen Pearl's first season as the Auburn head coach, this is a successful season. Yes, again, like I said, you didn't get into the NCAA tournament. There were a lot of things that were out of Stephen's control for some portion of it. But he got a chance to just continue to grow as a coach throughout the season. I think this NIT run is just going to help him grow even more heading into his second season later on in this year. So, and then like just stat wise over here, 44% for them, 45 for you. Yeah, I mean, like a team, because I think if I remember, they played the previous game, they made 12 or 13 threes to win. The fact is you were able to hold them to 6. They were able to do like 6 threes. I mean, it felt like it's crazy because it really felt like they had more threes, honestly, but they were getting layups and stuff like that down in the paint. You were 11 to 27. You were kind of maybe a little bit more efficient. Like, I feel like with Auburn threes, they counted when they needed them to count. Free throw line, I mean, 21 to 28. I mean, 7 points. You would like to maybe get maybe 3 of those, maybe 4 even, and make that a little bit better, but it is what it is. Rebounding. I mean, you won that by 4. Assists, you had 19 assists, outstanding steals, blocks. You won the turnover battle. You got 17 points off the turnovers. I mean, Tulsa is a really good fast break team as well. That was also something that I noticed throughout the game. Points in the paint, 38 to 32. Yeah, they kind of won that in the end because you had Jovic and Hall ended up getting fouled out of the game. So their presence there was definitely missed, and it benefited Tulsa for sure. But yeah, the largest lead for them was 5. It was 21 for Auburn, and yeah, it's just you are now NIT champs. So it is. I'm very happy for the guys. Like, I am very happy for the guys. Like a very frustrating year with some of the wins, some of the loss. I don't know, not wins, but some of the losses that you endured throughout the season. One of the toughest schedules in the country for sure. You will love to be able to go to the NCAA tournament and have that opportunity to play for a national title. But I think this is, to me, I would say this is a successful first year under Stephen. This is not Bruce Pearl anymore. This is Stephen Pearl. So our expectations, expectations are still to win a national title. Okay. But different era now under Stephen. Maybe adjust your expectations a little bit. And I think with the portal, I believe, opening on Tuesday, which Auburn just hired they hired their GM just a couple of days ago. I think he's coming over from Louisville, I believe, and I think they've already got a bunch of idea targets already like kind of lined up. Now you got to figure out what does this roster look like heading into Stephen's second season, because the Keyshawn Hall, he's done. He'll go to the draft. Tahad Pettifer, does he leave? Does he stay? What do you do with Tahad? What does Tahad decide to do? Because let's be clear, Tahad's stock definitely fell this season. It did. Does he either come back to try to correct that, or does he try to go somewhere else for an opportunity. But again, like with the way he's played throughout the season and kind of the inconsistency of it, is a team gonna like take that chance on him? I mean, sure, there could be some people that would, um, but I definitely, if he comes back, you can move him to the 2 spot, um, and get yourself a veteran point guard. Does Magwood decide to stay? He showed you some stuff throughout the NIT tournament. Does he decide to stay? Does he decide to leave? Especially after the whole, him calling out Steven and all that other shenanigans. Does Freeman? I think you can keep. I think you need to keep Freeman, but he's definitely going to have to improve over the offseason, to be more of a consistent offensive threat. I think he can do that. I think he could be a guy that gives you 13, 14, 15 points a game. He's just got to get that consistency there. Jovic showed so much improvement throughout this NIT tournament. Is there still room to grow? Yes, there is still room to grow for Jovic, but he showed you a lot through this NIT. The way he started to become more of an offensive threat. Once he's got this first season under his belt, now he can go into the offseason and improve upon that. Sebastian Williams-Adams, does he come back? And he's another guy that needs to improve on the offensive side of things. Overton, you definitely want to do everything you can. Like, could you find another Overton in the portal? Sure, but I think Kevin Overton showed you his worth throughout this year. He's been maybe the somewhat only guy who's been a little consistent offensively for the most part. Yeah, he had some games here or there. I think Overton, especially what he showed you through the NIT run, definitely, I think you need to bring him back. And then you already got one high schooler coming in. Does Simon Walker, does he get an offseason to improve, to become another guy that can come off the bench for you to provide something offensively? And then you got to figure out what you're going to do with Oporum and Bashir. Both guys who you thought maybe Bashir more than Oporum, who you thought you could have come in, give you some points coming off the bench. He's a relatively good shooter. Do they stay? Do they go? You already got the 7-footer from France coming in. He's signed. He's going to come in. So there's a lot of questions that I'm sure Steven and the staff have already started to piece together and figure out what do we want out of this team for next season. I think you're going to need a point guard. Like if the Hod stays and Magwood leaves, I think you're going to need 2 point guards. I think you're going to need a veteran point guard and then maybe a young guy who could give you at least 2 seasons worth of playing at the point guard position. You got the 7-footer. It's just really the question about Oporum, what happens with him. I think you just go. I think you still get another center. I think you get another senior guy, another guy who has maybe 1 year of eligibility left. He could be your center, and that way you got Oporum and Noy to develop, get some accumulated to American basketball like we saw with Jovic. I don't know. There's so much that you can do, or not. So there's so much you got to figure out with this roster. But yeah, I believe the transfer portal opens April 7th. So we'll see. We'll see. There's gonna be a lot of names flying out there. You're done. You're not playing, so you can get an opportunity to talk with some guys, figure out what you want to do, and move on from there. But very happy for the guys to get the win, NIT champs. So I'm happy for Steven to get this, 22 and 16 seasons for his first season as the head coach. And it ends on a positive note. So that is great. But guys, that is relatively it. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure you comment below. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a good one.